in this video we're going to do a communication question on the test. So we got to identify two characteristics that the members of each family of parabolas have in common. Starting off with part A, we got two parabolas here. F of x equals negative 2x plus 3 squared minus 4. And g of x is negative 3x plus 3 squared minus 1. So two characteristics that both of these parabolas have in common. One of the things I like to look at first is whether they both open up or down. Right? So that's one characteristic they could have in common. And notice the a value is negative here, a value is negative here. So we know both of these parabolas are opening down. So that is something, a characteristic that is in common between these two. Also notice they're both given in vertex form, and the x value of the vertex is the same for both. So the vertex for this one is negative 3, negative 4, and then this one it's negative 3, negative 1. So the x value is the same of the vertex for both. And what's the x value of the vertex? What's another name for that? It's the axis of symmetry. Right? So both of these parabolas have the same axis of symmetry, same x value of the vertex. So those are two characteristics that are in common between these two parabolas. And if they were asking for a different characteristic, perhaps you could say they have different max values, right? So because they're both opening down, they're both going to have a max value, which is the y value of the vertex. This one has a max value of negative 4. This one has a max value of negative 1, right? Two different max values. So that's a characteristic that is different between those two. Okay, moving on to part B. Here we got 2x squared plus 3x minus 7, and then 5x squared plus 3x minus 7. So again, notice that the a value for both of these is positive, so we know both of them are opening up. So that's something that's in common with both. Notice both of these are in standard form as well, and the c value is the same. And in standard form, the c value represents what? It represents the y-intercept. So the y-intercept for both of these is the same. If we plug in 0 for x for this one, we'd have a y value of negative 7, y value of negative 7. So the y-intercept is common. And then if they were asking for a different characteristic, what you can do is you could actually find the vertex of this if you want. So you could complete the square on this, complete the square on that. You'll be dealing with decimals, but nevertheless you can do it, and you'll have completely two different vertexes. So the x value will be different for the vertex and the y value. So you can say that both of them have a different axis of symmetry and a different minimum value. These are going to have a minimum value because the parabola is going to be opening up, right? But they're not asking for different characteristics, they're asking for common ones. So these are two common ones for these two parabolas, and these are two common ones for these two.